And welcome back to Houston Newsmakers, where I'm joined by Brian Green, the president of the Houston Food Bank. Good morning to you.
It's great to be here, Campbell.
We're talking about the super feast that takes place every Thanksgiving. It feeds thousands of people on that one day, but your organization feeds thousands. That's almost like a drop in the bucket to what you do every day.
Well, yeah, I would never want to diminish what people do. It's
no,
great
I get that.
People go, helping their neighbors. So the reality is, hunger is a year-round phenomenon. Especially for kids. Actually, summer is the worst time of the year because when the kids are not in school, where they don't have the lunch and the breakfast, for the lower income kids, it can be a real struggle for their families. But so, our work is year round. We have a network of partners. We currently work with 1,500 different organizations now. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So the food bank, our end is mostly like logistics works, really. We get all this donations of surplus food from the food industry. About 40% of it is fresh produce we're getting from farms and packing houses from literally all over the country, and then also the food manufacturers and processors, the grocers, and we collect it all, and it's about 10 tractor trailer loads per day that we then distribute out after the volunteers have done what they need to do, and include cooking meals in some cases, or just sorting it and the good from the bad, or repackaging, whatever it takes, and then all these different partnerships, and they're the ones doing the real work, and they're doing it year-round. Logistically,
it sounds like a really incredible challenge, though, with everything coming in and the volunteers who you have there sorting, getting stuff ready to go out.
Yeah, it's something that we basically built this capacity with Houston's great support over many years, so that you could kind of, like, all of these resources that we can't truly control. We can't control, what we're going to get donated or how much. We just have to create an infrastructure that can handle it. Our labor pool is mostly volunteers, right? And so we don't control that. We can influence that and try and make sure that we're ready for them when they come in. And of course, the financial contributions, we don't control that. But you try and piece all these things together, and we're running about 60 trucks a day, where we have drivers doing all the different routes between pickups and deliveries, and the crew inside the main building, and then all the outreach teams going out and helping people.
Okay, you get volunteers come in, they sort a lot of different things, they put them in boxes and whatnot, and the trucks go out. Typically, where do those trucks go?
Well, the Houston Food Bank serves an 18-county area. Originally, most of 18, yeah. Well, 2/3 of that population is Harris County.
Sure.
So it gets less populous quickly. But so when food banks first started, most of our output, we were working with churches, religious organizations who would provide an emergency food supply for a family in need. More and more, we have all kinds of different partnerships. One of my favorites is our backpack program, where we have we're 680 schools. We provide a weekend supply for a small number of kids, but these are the children that the teachers believe are not eating on the weekends.
So before they go home for the weekend, you give them food.
Yes, or the teacher does, subtly. Usually, like, they put it in the backpack, and it's nice and doesn't call attention to that, to help these kids that the teachers think are really struggling on the weekends. So we do that. Then we have the after-school programs that we support, such as the YMCA, which we love, where we make the hot meals for them. And our real goal there is to, frankly, increase attendance and keep the kids in the program, because, like, the programs that the Y does shows that the kids who are participating, they have outcomes that are much bigger than just the fact that they showed up somewhere. And so our meal, we look at not just from a hunger standpoint, but how is that we can improve the outcomes of our partners.
Do you think during the holidays you get a little bit more attention on it, because it's holiday time, Thanksgiving, Christmas, everybody's eating? Super Bowl of Caring is one of those events where we show a lot of people coming together during the time getting ready for the Super Bowl. You get it's big fanfare, people coming out, putting everything in the out, and making sure that people know that hunger is a problem year-round. What would be a surprising number when you talk to somebody about a really surprising number about hunger in our community? What do you think? What's an example of something like that?
Well, there's many, but probably the one that shocks people the most is, according to the Census Bureau, 2/3 of the food insecure households have an adult with a full-time job now. People usually assume that, okay, these are people who are unemployed, and that's why. And when I started 30 years ago in food banking work, that was probably mostly we were working with as people when they would lose a job and as they're trying to transition and helping them. More and more, our biggest enemy is low-wage employment. And so many of the households that we're serving, most of them, are households that have a working adult.
You need what more, volunteers or cash?
Volunteers. So it truly is amazing. The opportunities that we find for donations that require work that we can pursue because we have so many people who are willing to come in and help us. And we tried to make it as accommodating as possible. You go on our website and it's easy to register. You pick your shift. You print out a QR code and you literally walk in, get your QR code scanned, and they know, okay, well, you're going to go in this group. Here's where you're going to do your orientation. And our goal is to have you productively working within 30 minutes after you've walked in that door.
I want to make sure people know how to do that. Very easy. You alluded to it earlier. The food bank website is houstonfoodbank.org. That's really easy to remember.
I would hope so.
713-223-3700. In case you didn't get a pen or pencil quickly enough, you can go to my Newsmakers page on clicktohouston.com. You have a lot going on. We need to do a whole half hour. Just talk about this. Really, there's a lot going on.
I would not turn you down.
Okay, all right, we'll do that. When we get to Super Bowl of Caring time, we'll do that.
That'd be great.
Okay? Brian Green, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you for what you do. It's one thing to be hungry. It's quite another to be hungry and homeless. Unfortunately, Houston has thousands of men and women in that category, creating a vexing problem of how to offer help to people who need it and get them to accept it. So many problems, so many are working on it. We'll talk about that next when Houston Newsmakers continues.